first period with little action, Rutgers' Bryant Mitchell begins to find running room. A pitch out gains 12 yards. Then the Scarlet tailback sweeps left for 10 more. Bruce Van Ness takes to the air and spots Al Fenstermacher for 17 yards to the Lafayette 14. 4 plays later, Mitchell slants off left tackle for the first Rutgers touchdown of the year. A little later, Van Ness, trying to pass, finds running room to the Lafayette 48. This time, Van Ness sees Mel Brown free and hits the fullback for 13 yards. After a loss, Van Ness fades way back and arches a floater to Fenstermacher, who outmaneuvers the defender, making a brilliant catch on the Lafayette 9. Van Ness lobs one to Brown from the 2, and Rutgers leads 14-0. As the third quarter begins, defensive end Mike Pulowski pounces on a Leopard fumble, setting up a field goal by Jim Julian. Later, Van Ness selects Fenstermacher as the target again. This time, the sophomore flanker shows his great speed and goes all the way, a 41-yard play. As he is to prove all year, John Pollock is a standout pass defender. Here he grabs a Lafayette pass and makes a fine run back. Rutgers reserves get a chance. Rich Policastro at quarterback throws a strike to sophomore John Miller, another Rutgers touchdown. Policastro is on target again. 3 plays later, he hits Joe Barone for Rutgers' final touchdown. Final score, Rutgers 37, Lafayette 7. This is Al Fenstermacher of Vestal, New York, a fine young receiver. And big tackle Jim DiGiacinto of Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, who has bolstered the defense. Striving to break a 6-game losing streak against Princeton in the renewal of football's oldest rivalry, Rutgers starts off well as Bruce Van Ness keeps for 12 yards around left end. Bryant Mitchell finds the right side vulnerable and picks up 14 big yards. Needing a first down, Van Ness gets 11 yards with this strike to Bob Stonebreaker. Princeton digs in and holds, but Jim Julian puts Rutgers on the board with a 34-yard field goal. Princeton tries to retaliate, but on the first pass by Dick Bracken, defensive captain Rich Bing is in perfect position. His interception puts the Scarlet in great field position on the Princeton 31. Watch this razzle-dazzle. Van Ness at tailback throws to Rich Policastro, who lined up at quarterback for 18 yards. Now, behind a great block by co-captain Dave Zimmerman, Van Ness powers into the end zone, and it's 10-0 Rutgers. Princeton scores midway in the second period to make it 10-7, but Van Ness unlimbers his throwing arm. Here he is on target to Jim Benedict, a 30-yard play. Benedict is free again, and the left end goes to the Princeton 25. Van Ness is forced out of the pocket and starts to run, but he spies Mel Brown all alone on the 3. He's in. It's Rutgers 17-7. Here's a pretty play that didn't count. Van Ness is on the money with a toss to the crossing Al Fenstermacher. The sophomore goes all the way on a great run, but Rutgers was holding, and the score is nullified. Princeton is on the move, but John Pollock comes to the rescue. The Rutgers safety makes a great catch and return. Van Ness completes another pass to Brown. And here Here's sophomore Chris Stewart. Watch this 50-yard field goal, a record kick by a Rutgers player. There's still time for Princeton to score another touchdown, but this spectacular interception by Pete Savino thwarts another Tiger drive, and Rutgers wins the traditional game 20-14. Here's guard Alan Greenberg of Springfield, New Jersey, who scored 93% in his blocking assignments against Princeton. Quarterback Bruce Van Ness, who returned to his hometown and was selected All-East after helping beat the Tigers. And defensive back Pete Savino, former quarterback, whose spectacular interception was a key play. Rutgers and Cornell get together for the first time in 43 years. For a quarter, there's no scoring, although the Bruce Van Ness-Al Fenstermacher combination clicks for this 30-yard gain. After a pass interference penalty, Bryant Mitchell gets Rutgers close, but Cornell holds again. Later, Mitchell puts Rutgers in scoring position. And Jim Julian breaks the ice, booting this field goal from 31 yards out. Cornell ties the score soon thereafter, and Rutgers plays it conservatively. But Bryant Mitchell has other ideas. Mitchell, who was to become the all-time Rutgers rushing leader, converts this simple dive play with blocking help from John Arizzi and Jim Benedict into an unbelievable touchdown run of 76 yards. In the third quarter, Van Ness and Fenstermacher team up again. This big gainer set up a field goal try, but it missed. Alert John Pollock thwarts a Cornell drive with this over-the-shoulder interception. Then came the turning point in the game. Cornell's Bill Arthur punts. John Pollock catches it, and he's off. This spectacular run won't count. A clipping penalty was mistakenly called, and instead of a 17-3 lead, it's only 10-3. Cornell scores twice to go ahead, 17-10. But Rutgers isn't finished. Rich Policastro sparks a rally. He passes to Fenstermacher, the ball bouncing off Mel Brown. After two misses, Polly screens to Paul Honey, who has replaced Mitchell, sidelined by bruised ribs. Some substitute this Honey, who gets blocks from Al Greenberg and Jim Benedict. Watch him go. That makes it 17-16. Rutgers goes for two, but Van Ness is stopped. Honey almost duplicates his earlier success with the screen. Just a hand gets in his way, and that's all the time there is. Rutgers loses its first game after two wins, 17-16. Paul Honey of Chagrin Falls, Ohio, scored 5 touchdowns for Rutgers, playing in only 3 games. Rick Bonsall of Franklin Township is in his second season as a regular defensive end. It could have been easy, but this game was almost a disaster for the Scarlet, which was looking ahead to Army. Paul Honey, starting in place of the injured Bryant Mitchell, skirts left end for 21 yards. Here are Bruce Van Ness and Al Fenstermacher collaborating again. Showing no partiality, Van Ness flips to Bob Stonebreaker for the touchdown. Success breeds success, and Van Ness calls Fenstermacher's number again. Another great catch. The drive stalls, but an interception by Pete Savino sets up this short smash by Honey to make it 14-0. In the third period, Honey gets Rutgers moving with a run-off tackle. This is a different pattern, but it's Van Ness and Fenstermacher combining skills again. Honey enjoying his opportunity to play, shows great vision as he finds daylight by cutting in and out for 31 yards, helped by Jim Benedict and Mike Kizis to give Rutgers a 20-7 lead. After a Lehigh score, John Pollock anticipates a Lehigh pass. He steps in front of the receiver, and he's home free, 54 yards. The Scarlet gets 2 more points on this safety. Final score, Rutgers 29, Lehigh 26. For 3 years, tackle Rich Kaprowski of Cleveland has been clearing the way for the backs. And this is Denny Dutch of Clairton, Pennsylvania, an aggressive defensive lineman. Rutgers started impressively against Army. On the first play, Bruce Van Ness on a quarterback draw gets 16 yards up the middle. Van Ness hits Al Fenstermacher slanting in from the left. Then gains 8 himself after trying to pass, but Army's defense holds. Rutgers can't move consistently. Van Ness is on target again to Fenstermacher for 15 yards, but nothing more develops. Now in the second quarter, Bryant Mitchell shakes loose for 15 yards. Before halftime, Army is moving, but Larry Clymer comes up with a key play, recovering this fumble. From there, Van Ness takes to the air. First he hits left end Jim Benedict for 12. Next he goes to right end Bob Stonebreaker. Rutgers is set back by a holding penalty, but Van Ness keeps throwing. He swings one to Mitchell. And then brings the Scarlet in for its only real threat, hitting Benedict to the Army 14. But the Cadets won't give in, and Army scores a 24-0 victory. Against Army, the most consistent Rutgers players were Jim Benedict of Berkeley Heights, who caught 3 passes for 50 yards. Tackle Len Novelli of Canton, Ohio, who was named All-East twice this season. And tackle Mike Kizis of Mendham, a quick sophomore. Rutgers' defensive unit faces a mighty challenge against Columbia's Marty Domris. Captain Rich Bing recovers this first quarter fumble to give Rutgers good field position. A new quarterback, Rich Policastro, is at the controls for Rutgers, and this is his first completion. It's a beauty, and Bob Stonebreaker does some nifty running to turn it into a 39-yard scoring play. Now it's speedy Bryant Mitchell going to work, turning a simple off-tackle smash into a 26-yard gainer as Stonebreaker and Al Greenberg clear the way. Policastro goes to the air again and again hits Stonebreaker for 6 points. At halftime, though, the score is 14-14. The Policastro-Stonebreaker duo keeps clicking. Different patterns, but the same result. 16 yards each time. This time, Policastro chooses Jim Benedict on a comeback course. With Columbia pass conscious, Mitchell takes a pitch out from Policastro and sweeps the right side to give Rutgers the lead, 21-14. Columbia gets a field goal at the start of the fourth period, and Rutgers needs points. Mel Brown gets the drive going, churning for 10 yards. Here's Policastro throwing a jump pass to Stonebreaker for 14 yards. A personal foul gives Rutgers 15 more. Mitchell gets 9 straight ahead. This play worked for the last touchdown, so Mitchell gets the call again and scores again. The Rutgers defense shows its stuff. The Lions are in excellent field position, but they can't move at all. 2 yards on this play. Here's Len Novelli dropping Domris for a loss. Clymer forces this pass to be dropped. To make sure of the victory, the Rutgers pass defenders are on the alert. Jim Renshaw grabs this Domrus throw to stop one drive. And Andy Naparano stretches for this one. Now watch this collision between Naparano and Domrus, who threw the pass. That's it. Rutgers wins 28-17, making its record 4-2. 2 touchdown catches against Columbia and 31 receptions on the year made Bob Stonebreaker of Milesburg, Pennsylvania, Rutgers' top receiver. Sophomore Andy Naparano of Short Hills, New Jersey, had a key interception against Columbia. As did halfback Jim Renshaw of Runnymede, New Jersey, a 2-year defensive regular. It's homecoming for Rutgers, and Delaware's the visitor. The Hens, 4-2 on the season, get stuffed on their first play. Larry Clymer falls on the loose ball. Rich Policastro goes right to work and hits Al Fenstermacher for a first down. Bryant Mitchell bursts off tackle for 10 more. But Delaware's defense stiffens, and Rutgers is forced to settle for this 27-yard field goal by Jim Julian. The Rutgers offense bogs down the rest of the half, but the defense is sharp. After an interception, Delaware is in fine field position, but the Rutgers defense holds the Hens to minus yardage. Delaware gets a late break, however, and leads at the half 7-3. Here's Rutgers in a solid tee in the third quarter. It's old-fashioned power as Bruce Van Ness hits for 7. Mel Brown tries left guard and gets 6 more. And here's one of the finest runs of the season, Bryant Mitchell carrying the ball. He's gone, just pure speed. Delaware regains the lead, and Rutgers, unable to move, calls on Mike Yanchef to punt. It goes out on the 6, putting Delaware into a hole. Now from midfield, Policastro threads the needle to Bob Stonebreaker. 2 plays later, Policastro goes to the air again. This time it's Jim Benedict running a flag pattern, and Rutgers vaults into the lead again, 17-14. Here's a key fourth period play as Mel Brown makes a great effort on 3rd and 2 with excellent blocking help from center John Orizzi. Policastro tosses to Stonebreaker for another first down. And after 3 short smashes, Mitchell goes up the middle for the clinching score. Here's another good run by Mel Brown with a nice block by Mike Kizis. Delaware tries to score again, but that man, John Pollock, is on the scene. Another interception. Final, Rutgers 23, Delaware 14. An expert blocker, Mel Brown of Toms River, was a punishing runner during the last half of the season. Jim Julian of Clairton, Pennsylvania, who doubled as a tackle, kicked 6 field goals in 9 tries. Linebacker Drew Forgash of South Plainfield, a defensive award winner in 2 games. Rutgers gets moving against Connecticut in the first period. Policastro locates Stonebreaker, who turns this into a 28-yard advance. The same pair clicks again. And Jim Julian gets another chance to kick for 3 points. It's good. Stymied by the Yukons, Rutgers calls on Mike Yanchef to punt. The coverage is perfect, and guards Alan Greenberg and Dave Zimmerman tattoo the receiver. John Orizzi falls on the fumble. One play later, Policastro pitches to Jim Benedict, who catches it twice, and Rutgers leads 10-0. In the second quarter, Policastro tosses to Bruce Van Ness, who slips out of the backfield for a 36-yard gain. The Scarlet bogs down, though, but keeps Connecticut contained as Larry Clymer, playing the rover position, makes a diving interception of Rick Robustelli's pass. The Huskies finally get on the scoreboard, but just before halftime, the Rutgers offense explodes. Bryant Mitchell takes a handoff from Policastro and finds a hole-off tackle. He goes all the way to the Connecticut 31. Now Policastro fakes beautifully, and Jim Benedict does some nice faking on his own to get behind the UConn defender. It's 17-7 at the half. The Rutgers defense keeps coming up with the football. Lee Schneider is alert on this play, getting to a bobbled pitch out first. This time it's Mike Pawlowski who's hungry for the ball. The offense capitalizes this time. Policastro waits for Stonebreaker, crossing over the middle, and the big end makes it 23-7. Connecticut scores again, and Jim Julian boots another field goal for the Scarlet. The defense comes up with its third interception. Lee Schneider returns it 30 yards. The final, Rutgers 27, UConn 15. Center John Arizzi of Shrewsbury, Massachusetts, had a fine day against Connecticut. Larry Clymer of Allentown, Pennsylvania, a regular linebacker at only 165 pounds. John Niemeyer of Baltimore was an offensive-defensive handyman. With its record now 6-2, Rutgers entertains Holy Cross. The Crusaders punt early in the first quarter, and John Pollock is the Rutgers safety. Weaving to his right, Pollock goes the distance. 73 yards, the longest punt return in Rutgers history. Rutgers' lead is brief, however. By halftime, Holy Cross goes ahead 14-7. It's a different Rutgers team in the third quarter, however. Rich Policastro, only 3 for 9 at halftime, hits Bob Stonebreaker with a strike, down to the Holy Cross 7. Wasting no time, Polly pitches to Mitchell, who sweeps the left side, and it's a 14-14 game. Now the defense comes to life as Lee Schneider recovers a fumble at midfield, giving the offense good position. After a few short runs, Policastro jump passes to Stonebreaker for 15 yards. On target now, the Scarlet quarterback hits Al Fenstermacher to the 13. 3 runs gain only 2 yards, so Policastro goes to the air again. And Stonebreaker catches another one to put Rutgers ahead 21-14. Rutgers attacks again. Bryant Mitchell, who gained 152 yards, gets 10 off tackle. Policastro spots Jim Benedict for a 13-yard gain. Mitchell starts left, cuts, and good blocks by Mel Brown and John Arizzi help turn a short gain into a dazzling touchdown run. Still hungry for points, Policastro fires to Fenstermacher for a first down on the Rutgers 34. Bruce Van Ness battles his way for 13 yards around left end. Mitchell, who passed all previous Rutgers runners for career and season yardage today, bursts for 35 yards with Mike Kizis and Rich Kaprowski blocking. A penalty advances the ball to the 9, from where Policastro fades and bullets one to Fenstermacher. Jim Julian's kick makes it 34-14. Some of the young players get their chances. Here's Steve Ferraghelli running off tackle. Now watch Mike Yanchef, the Rutgers quarterback. He fades, throws, and it's intercepted. Here comes Yanchef, and he recovers the fumble. Yanchev's a busy young man. He keeps around the left side for the final Rutgers TD. Rutgers 41, Holy Cross 14. 3 times this season, Lee Schneider of Mineola, New York, was the outstanding defensive player. Soft quarterback Mike Yanchev of Hummelstown, Pennsylvania, did some clutch punting. Tackle Mo Hill of Toms River was a goal line defender and an alternate place kicker. Aiming for an 8-2 record, Rutgers gets started with a bomb. A spectacular Rich Policastro pass to Jim Benedict. Benedict scrambles away from the last defender to complete a 59-yard touchdown play. Colgate rallies to take the lead 14-7. It is on the move again. But old reliable John Pollock intercepts another one. Policastro passes to Bruce Van Ness for 21 yards. Now it's Bryant Mitchell's turn. A sweep for 10 yards. Let's do it again for 9 more. This time it's Van Ness. There's some great blocking. Rich Kaprowski, Dave Zimmerman, Bob Stonebreaker, but it's a great run. He refuses to go down. It's 14-14. A few minutes later, Policastro goes to the air, screening to Mitchell. Van Ness, faking the sweep, throws on the run to Al Fenstermacher. A 51-yard play. Rutgers takes the lead. Colgate bounces back and threatens, but watch the Rutgers defense. And Rutgers holds. There's nothing bashful about Policastro. From his own end zone, he throws, and Fenstermacher catches. 37 yards. Watch this razzle-dazzle. The flanker back reverse. Fenstermacher is too fast for his blockers, but gets 21 yards. In the third period, Rutgers launches a ground attack. Mitchell gets 15 yards straight ahead. It's Mitchell again, taking a pitch out from Policastro. Van Ness picks up a few more, coming this way. Now Mitchell, getting fine blocks from Kaprowski, Alan Greenberg, and Stonebreaker, breaks away and tiptoes down the sideline. Rutgers leads 35-21. The Red Raiders threaten, but John Pollock, who intercepts 3 passes in this game, is in the right spot again. And Rutgers goes right to work. Policastro whips one down the middle to Bryant Mitchell. Mel Brown, usually the blocker, gets good blocks from Kaprowski and Zimmerman as he battles his way for 28 big yards. Policastro fades, has to scramble, and sees Brown. Mel makes the catch and he scores. It's 41-21 now. Coach John Bateman has some reserves in now. Paul Honey is the target on this screen pass from Policastro. Look at him go with key blocks by John Arizzi, Alan Greenberg, and Dave Zimmerman. Sophomore Mike Yanchev gets a chance to throw and gives Bob Stonebreaker a perfect lead. It's a 36-yard gain. Honey blazes around right end, outruns everyone, and a fabulous Rutgers season comes to an end. 8 victories, 2 losses, 21 records set by this team. Bryant Mitchell of Charlottesville, Virginia, broke 4 records and was named Most Valuable Player. Record-setting Rich Policastro of Highland Park threw 15 touchdown passes. Safety John Pollock of Youngstown, New York, intercepted 9 passes, establishing 3 records. Vital contributors, of course, were the co-captains, linebacker Rich Bing and tackle Dave Zimmerman, chatting here in a happy postseason scene with Coach John Bateman, President Mason W. Gross, and Athletic Director Al Twitchell.